I'm sure it'll be fun.
I hope so. Like, you're paying me good money to, like, you're paying good money for me to criticize your play. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. Relax. Um, so, with that, let's get down to business. Sounds fine. Where would you like to start?
Um,
Because I find with players of, like, higher skill levels, it's kind of good to let them be a little self-directed. If you hate that idea, let me know. I'll figure something out. But yeah, I'm just curious as to where you want to start.
yeah. I guess I had a kind of a weird thing, but I have a set against a Game Watch player I want to look at. I don't know if that's the best like introductory lesson thing to do, but I don't know.
Is it
Um,
what you want to work on?
it is because I don't know if you know Mushi's, but he just moved to my region and he's been kind of like tearing up all our locals.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and
let's
I
do it.
know I can beat him, and I think I could benefit a lot from looking at this set.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at it. I think my general position is that if there's something you're interested in doing, that's going to generally be like more unless there's like something glaring, and I don't know if there's something glaring because we haven't worked together. This is our first time working together. But yeah,
Mm.
if there's unless I have like a serious concern about another area of your play, whatever you're interested in, that's usually like that is going to make up for like yeah, that's going to matter a lot.
Okay. I have Slippy files that I
Totally
can
fine.
send you.
Send them my way.
Okay.
Excellent. So 4 game set. What were the state? What was the stage order?
Let me see. It was Battlefield, then Fountain, then Dreamland, then Yoshi's.
Cool. So let me just see what comes up. Let me just adjust the audio so it doesn't blow out our ears, and then I will share my screen. What do you talk to me about the matchup in general? Like, what are your thoughts on like what you're supposed to be doing, what you're not supposed to doing, stuff like that?
Um, I think what I'm not supposed to be doing is getting grabbed.
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
yeah, and getting hit by stuff that leads into grab, like down tilt or like even jab grab can be tricky to deal with.
Yeah.
Um, and what I'm supposed to be doing is, I think, I guess what I'm supposed to be doing that I'm not doing is like using more like needles and just playing more like kind of lame, not really like going in as much. I don't know.
To
And
so
then,
one quickly, Battlefield was game one.
yeah,
Okay, perfect. Sharing my screen now. So you said you use more needles, right?
I think so. I think that's just a general thing also in my game is like I've kind of noticed. Um, I don't think I'm that good at using needles in general, and like because I just played Aiden at the SoCal Star League D2 thing, and yeah, I was talking to him about using needles, um, and that because I felt like I was just getting owned by his needles and I wasn't doing it back. So yeah, and yeah, as far as like how the set went, um, this is the only game I win. So I win game one and then I lose the next three.
Okay. So let's break this down a bit. So what are Game and Watch's strengths and weaknesses?
Um, okay, I think his strengths are his just like his punish game generally. At least I find it to be like extremely hard to deal with. I just kind of die,
Okay.
and um, a lot of his hitboxes are actually like really strong. I think like his forward air hitbox is pretty crazy. Um,
Yep.
his even like his down tilt is like I don't know. He just has like a lot of moves that are big and like strange to deal with. I think at least for me.
Like this one?
Like his nair, especially, yeah, his forward air, his nair is also like it's more of like a combo finisher or like juggling thing, I guess. But yeah,
I mean, this looks like this. I think that we can acknowledge that this looks pretty insane.
yeah,
Like one, two, three, like boom. Like look at it, look at it. It's huge.
yeah,
Like we probably can't beat that very easily.
yeah.
So, do we have to beat it?
Um, probably.
Let me clarify what I'm asking. So, this thing L cancels for 12 frames.
Mhm.
That is a long time. Do you know how long 12 frames is? That's like two of our that's like two Fox Nairs in terms, almost two Fox Nairs. That's two Pichu Nairs in terms of L cancel time. That's a long time.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
with that in mind, what do you think the frame advantage of this thing is, roughly, on Shield?
I'm pretty sure it's like on Shield.
Mm-hmm.
You mean? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's quite negative. Like
So,
I know you can definitely shield grab it.
yeah, so like Shield stun 9, assuming that he strong hits. If he weak hits, it's 4. So like, at best, his weak hit is like -8. And his strong hit is -3 at best.
Hmm.
I feel like
That's
using it,
actually a little better than I thought it was,
but like it's still not good. Like,
yeah.
yeah. So I think that that's like a good starting point for us for consideration, right? Like, is there a
Mhm.
way that we can just like maybe use our shield more aggressively? Another thing I'm noticing here is like we're not being very greedy with our combos. Like here. So you get this this back air dash attack thing. So did you think that like you're gonna be able to directly combo that fair?
I think yes, I did.
Okay. Let's assume we know that we're not that's not gonna work. What could we do instead?
Um, maybe
Here, look at the situation. So like you're coming up at him. So you hit this. Yeah, what do you think you could do, knowing that he's gonna attack there?
um, we could probably. I don't think we have time to like waveland on the platform in Tech Chase, so I think we could probably just go like under the platform and then try to like Tech Chase like that. Maybe do like read Tech in place with like an up tilt or something like that, or a up air. I mean,
Hmm.
um,
Is there so up tilt won't like so you'd go
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Up tilt won't hit because of like the battlefield platform height, but like
yeah,
so you're
yeah.
thinking going under him and like
Up air.
RTC like up air, right?
Yeah.
That can work. What if we down aired? Like
Yeah, I think
instead of fairing
yeah,
here, we down air.
yeah. That's probably also good. I yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's
talk to
probably
me.
better.
No, what talk to me. So what's going through your head upon hearing that like that option?
Um, I think it would be better because um, I feel like you were probably in a better spot if he doesn't tech in place, and you could maybe do something to. Because I don't think you could cover both. Like if you land with down air, I don't think you could have enough time to like do anything if he tech rolls away to like actually punish him.
Why not?
I think maybe not.
No, like do you think you can or can't? Like that's the question.
Um,
So like he's here right now, like he's this yellow box, which I will make even more yellow. And then he's going to either roll here, like because he's gonna roll to the left, or he'll go over here, right?
yeah.
So
I actually think you can. I think because I feel like I do this a lot to like Marths and stuff,
yeah, and
and it just works.
his tech rolls
Yeah,
are terrible.
yeah.
So
So
like
yeah, I think this is better.
okay.
I guess the one thing you could maybe do is like slide off
Mm-hmm.
if you like tech rolls in, or depending on how I space the down air.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but I don't
down
think
air hits
that's
forward, right?
yeah. So like if I think if I space it right, you like can't even really slide off. I'm not sure.
I think that you
Right?
can. I think you can. if you do it perfectly, I think you can deny it. But I think that there is a chance that he does it. But remember, who has the faster moves here?
Me.
Right. So if he like slides off, what is he hitting you with in retaliation?
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably not much or anything.
Yeah, like he basically goes here, kind of like he goes
Yeah,
here
'cause, like
potentially.
Nair is like way too slow.
Yeah, like he has to, like he basically goes off here, and then he can basically like from this point, like he has to like double jump fair, basically. But if you do like if you shield or push any button that's like relatively quick, you probably just get him.
Yeah.
That seems good.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So I think that one of the things I want to point out about Game & Watch, just as a generally useful thing, is that it is good to like be aggressive against him when you're in advantage. Like like when you have him in knockdowns, it's good to like hit hard because he's really light and his defense is bad and his techs are bad, his shield is bad. Like a big thing that I do, like I find this character easy with Ness, and like it's just because he has nothing when he's in these kinds of positions. Like, look at what he's doing. He has to just flail. Because his solutions to things are usually just attacking more. Now, one other thing I want to point out here. What do you think? Why are we jump cancel grabbing this guy? Like, what's the advantage here?
I actually don't even...
Because we could dash grab.
Yeah. Can Game Watch, like, I don't even know. Can he like duck under my grab? I feel like that's happened to me.
Yeah, it's happened it's happened 3 times in this game already.
Yeah, so I just completely didn't even think of that, even though. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like I bet the games you lose, it happens a lot because you start trying to like come back with grabs, and then they are like, and you jump cancel them for like safety to make them lower lag, and then it backfires by like everything going by like him then getting like huge punishes. I would bet that's the dynamic.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like that. Wait, does that ring bells?
Maybe not like him ducking it specifically, but like just trying to YOLO grab and then getting like spot dodge or like, you know, just outplayed, and then he grabs me and then I just die. Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot.
Okay, so let's talk about this position. So you're running off this platforming here, and he's below you. What do you? I think you have needles. Well, we are going for fair. Why are you going for fair here? Like, what's the plan?
I feel like the plan is to just pressure him, I guess, and try to get in a good position where he's on the defensive.
Okay, but he's already on the defensive. He's in the Sheik triangle on the ground. Like, we already have him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, like my question here is, why are we not needling him?
Yeah, that's probably
because he has no like if we wait to about here on our way down and needle him, or like maybe around here, then like he has no shield. Even if he does shield, we're positive on block, or like fairly neutral to positive on block with needles, generally speaking, if we do them right. If he crouch cancels, he gets grabbed anyway. If like I feel like we're giving him I feel like we're giving him a lot of, I don't know if it's respect, or I just don't think that we're like really valuing our moves highly. Like, so what are you trying to get after this fair? Like, that's the thing. That's, I guess, what I want to know. Like, what do you think is going to happen after this?
Yeah, that's because I'm probably just going to get CC punished. I would think. I don't know if it's like a true punish.
Okay, so that was definitely a pretty true looking.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
I feel like we need to be more spaced in order for that, more spaced, or hit the auto cancel, or both, in order for that not to happen.
Even yeah. So I feel like down tilt actually maybe you space it maybe you space it really really well, but I don't know. I feel like that move hits kind of far, but
No,
maybe
let's
I'm wrong.
let's consult. So yes, the answer is yes. It hits very far. Like, look at this thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Like, his character's moves are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what on earth am I looking at? It's Mr. Game & Watch, obviously. Yeah, like, so I think that with what we're learning here is, like, we need to be, like, significantly further back than we thought in order to punish this. Like, I don't even know if it necessarily, like, makes sense to contest him from this from this kind of angle or
Yeah.
position, unless he's, like, got a bit more damage on him, so we're, like, pushing him out of range. It also hits on 6, which is pretty quick. Like, maybe there's a way that we can like, I guess if we do it perfectly low or perfectly auto-canceled, we can maybe finagle, like, an aerial shield kind of situation.
Mm.
Because, like, ASDI down is going to, like, lag him for 4 if he, like, ASDI downs if he holds down on it. And then it's going to come on 6, so functionally it hits on 10. And then we're going to land on, yeah, like, it technically works because our shield is 9, but, like, it's so tight. Still worth, like, knowing about, but, like, you see what I mean? He's really, really, he's got a lot of really powerful tools that are powerful in a very upfront way.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily make sense to fight those tools head on, I think. Talk to me about this edge guard. What's your understanding of how Mr. Game & Watch's recovery works?
Probably not that great. So what I know is that if he up Bs on stage and he goes like high enough above stage, when he lands, he has like almost no lag. But if he up Bs and he just barely goes above stage and then lands right after, then he has a lot of landing lag. And then generally, I feel like there's a lot of like timing mix-ups he can do to make it kind of hard to like consistently do like a rising like nair from ledge, even though I know that's probably something I should be doing anyway, and it's good.
Okay, so if somebody has a bunch of timing mix-ups off stage with their up B, with their vertical at B, what's something you can do that's generally pretty good against it? Like, very concretely good against that?
Probably Sammy stalling.
Yeah, that makes tons of sense to me. Like, if we, like, drop down here and regrab the edge immediately, like, what the heck does he do?
Yeah, I kind of don't know why I didn't do that in this scenario, honestly, but I completely agree. Yeah.
I think you try to hit him. Or, no, you roll up.
Yeah, I feel like rolling up is just not that good there, like at all.
Yeah, so what we're learning here is, let's look at these jumps too. So we're in this position where we're like going for these things above him, but like my question here is, why are we not like, well, couldn't we be using our shield more? Because like,
yeah, I think that is. I think I might just be scared of getting grabbed, and I'm kind of scared to just like shield a lot because of that. But I don't know.
Okay, but like at this distance, how does he grab you?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like this is not this
like
is
he's probably not going to just YOLO run and grab.
Yeah, so let's SS. So let's just like move this for you. Like yeah, like the one thing that I want us to keep at what point, what distance do you think his grab is a problem here? Like let's do some measurements. He'll be green. So like where does his where does his down tilt hit? Like if he wanted to down tilt, it's this big ball in front of him, right?
Yeah.
So it's like here. What about his fair? Where would his fair hit? Like it's this big box, right? So it's like here, here, where? Short up fair. Short up fair.
You're not talking about like drifting forward, right?
Well,
Or
give me the range. Like where, how far? Like here, where? What's like how big is his fare box? Like is it like here? Is it over here? Is it here? Like guide me.
um, I feel like if he did like short hop fair while drifting forward, he would be able to hit like almost like that far.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree. I agree. Why do you think why do you think I'm having you do this?
Yeah.
So like with this in mind, that's about here. Now, I want you to tell me where his grab hits. If he
I
dash jump cancel grabs, how far do you think it hits? Like where does this go?
I feel like not that far.
Like
Probably like let me see.
further than the circle or shorter than the circle?
I would think maybe a little further or like
Like here?
around the same. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say if Gaiman watches anywhere behind this line, do we need to be afraid of shielding?
Probably not.
Yeah, and like that's pretty close to like the danger zone, so maybe like for our for practical purposes, maybe it's a little bit further out. Maybe it's here. You know?
Hmm.
Like cuz we maybe build in a bit of a buffer. We don't know this guy very well, but like I feel like anything behind this line, anything behind this or this line is like just fair. This is like
Yeah.
his fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think all this makes sense because the thing about him is that he doesn't have tons of moves, but the moves he has are like friggin' insane.
Yeah.
For funsies, where do you think if he decides that he's like full hopping, like or let's say like we're playing in the air or something, like let's say we're here, where do you think what does his full hop range look like?
Um
Like where would like how high would full hop nair go?
Full hop nair.
Yeah, like help me out with this. Where does it go?
Um I feel like his full hop is not that high.
Okay, so this should be lower then, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, no, like again, this is your mental model, so it's all good.
I feel like I remember it's just like a really random thing, but like you can like full hop nair on the Dreamland platform to land on it, but like normally you can't land on it with full hop
And
as
so,
Game One.
okay,
So, some weird thing like that. I don't know. That could be wrong.
you know
So I
what?
feel like his full hop isn't that high.
Let's come back. Let's take a look at the match and see if we can find out as it plays out. Why up smash there?
Yeah, I feel like I should have like up tilted probably.
Agreed. Another cool thing, he's when he light shields at the edge here, how likely do you think it is that he recovers with this double jump back air?
Pretty likely, like almost every time.
What do you think would happen? What do you think it would happen if you shielded it?
He's in a really bad spot. I'd probably just punish him.
You'd probably win the game here. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
What do you think his plan B is if he doesn't do that?
Um.
It's kind of tricky, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Because like, this is good. So like, if we hit him here, where can he go upon getting hit out of light shield here? Like, what other way back does he have to the stage?
I mean, he could go low and then up B, but it's pretty hard to. I don't know. I don't know if he would. So I feel like you have to go really low as Game & Watch to be able to get to ledge from this position, right?
Yeah. You'd have to like fall for a very long time. It would be really obvious that you were doing it. It would be very slow and deliberate. That
Yeah.
sounds awesome. Like,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing. So, like, he's highly incentivized to, like, come back with this back air.
Hmm.
So then what do? We just, as we've discussed, we raise what?
Will you shield?
Yeah. And then what happens if he goes low in response to our shield?
Um, we can probably go grab ledge.
Yeah, so how do we do it?
Um, I guess you could like. It's a little annoying that you're shielding facing that way, so you can't just wave dash back. But you could maybe like short hop needle turn around.
That seems inefficient.
Um,
We have the edge here, right?
mhm.
What if we wave dash forward here?
Yeah, you could like. Yeah,
You know, block, talk it out.
yeah. The only thing I was thinking is that you'd have to like turn around after you wave dash, but that's probably still significantly faster.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're not spending 13 frames getting here, believe it or not. We're only spending,
You
like,
could also like teeter cancel to make it
exact,
less, right? Yeah.
exactly. So what we're doing here, let's figure it out. We have everything we need. So from our original position, where do we go here, right?
Mhm.
Like we shield upon hitting him with this fair, and then he comes up with back air. If he does this bear, we shield grab him and he die. We shield grab or narrative shield and he dies.
Mhm.
Moving on. If he goes low, knowing that he's like after he sees that he decides to go low, knowing that like he has to or he will die. We
Mhm.
then wave dash forward. When do we wave dash forward? At what point do we want him to be? What point indicates to us that like we should wave dash forward at that point? Like
I
where
would
should?
think when he's too low to like double jump back and land on stage,
Yeah, so like
which
about here.
yeah, that seems right. Yeah.
I mean, like it doesn't have to be exact in the model,
Yeah.
but like the idea is that like this is his double jump. So
Hmm.
like we are just waiting till he's below this. So once he's below here, then then it would be wave dash forward, and then we teeter here, right?
Yeah.
Then what do we do?
Um, what I would do is dash forward, then quickly wave dash back.
Agreed. We just do standard edge grab at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems really good. I like it. I don't see why we wouldn't like it. So yeah, low.
Yeah.
So then low, wave dash oos, teeter, um, grab edge. Yeah, now we have a flow chart for like this situation because this is a pretty common one for like this is one that he will use a good amount because he doesn't like having like he's really bad in disadvantage. You're noticing that like a lot of the luxuries that our character has because if we get pushed off facing this way, we have like 8 ways back. He has 2. Like
Yeah.
the other thing he can do unironically, and it's so dumb, but like this is part of why I like teetering here. He might just like wait below this line and just up B at you.
Hmm.
Because like that is his next best. Like as sad as it is, that is his next best option.
Yeah.
But this is part of why teeter works because we can crouch, we can shield, we're still actionable. So even if he does crap like that, like we have counterplay. We can also dash inwards, like and avoid it. Like we might just dodge it as part of our natural movement in this spot. But you can see how like his limitations really bite him when he's in disadvantage. And there's that Sandy stall. I would just nair him, honestly. Like, I would just hit him when he's coming over. If like, once you confirm that he's gonna go over you like this, I wouldn't even bother with the grab on stage. I'd just, like, hit him. He's light, he will die. He's light and he dies early. And see how you, like, had to do extra work?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so how do you, like, what are you looking for to know that he's going to do that? That he's going over you?
Um, I'm not sure. Well,
Are you still intangible?
I mean, yes.
So why did we get off from the edge?
I I think I kind of just read this.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if I like reacted to where he, you know. yeah, beat, or if I had like a yeah, I'm not sure.
Gotcha. So here's kind of like part of the reason we do here's part of the reason we do the like the stalls versus these kinds of characters. It's because when they come up with the up B, like let me find it. Where's the up B? Parachute, fire, air. Okay, yeah. Start one. Wow, it's active for like a long time.
Yeah,
Okay,
he'll like end combos with this a lot, like up B, and he hit you when you're like really high up. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, so boom, boom, boom. That's that is actually quite funny. So he is actually he's intangible for like a very long time. Okay, never mind. So yeah, like ledge stalling, timing it the way that we do versus Fox doesn't really work. That's fine. What I would say is when you're doing this kind of play, I would just make a point to try to like do like line up your ledge jump. Like try not to do this waveland. Try to like line up your ledge jump more like when you're intangible with like where when he could come up, and then just either grab the edge again or like hit him with your nair. Because this ledge dash is taking away options from you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. It's like honestly, it's like Marth. Like I don't think we'd ever like read Marth coming up like that very often. Certainly not with grab, because we'd be more interested in either ledge stalling or putting out a hitbox when we think he might come up, like to cover his like up B timings. This is the same dynamic. It's just he has a longer window to operate from, but also like worse. He can't stall off stage in the same way either.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes it different for Marth to me is that if he up B's on stage and he's not like right above stage, then he doesn't really have a lot of laning lag. So it's not like Marth where you can like jump from ledge and reverse fair easily.
But you hit that just means you hit him on the way up though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yoshi's was game 2. This is his counter pick or Fountain of Dreams.
It was Fountain.
Okay. So you hit this fair, this is good. Talk to me about this down air. What do you think we do about this move? Because this move comes up a lot.
Yeah, I'm honestly not... It's a kind of a weird move because it has that landing hitbox, which makes it a little strange to deal with, but So I actually don't know how this move really works on shield entirely, to be honest.
Poorly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so how good on shield do you think the landing hitbox is?
Probably not very good. But I don't know, maybe like... I would think you can't like actually a true punish shield grab it, but probably still minus, I don't know, 4 maybe or something like that.
-5.
Okay, that was close.
What options does he have that are active on 2?
I don't know what frame his jab is. I feel like it's slower than that, but
it is absolutely slower than that. Jab is 4.
Nothing. Okay, yeah.
He can
nothing.
Crouch and spot dodge.
Spot dodge. Yeah.
And then he's asked to spot dodge with Mr. Game & Watch.
Yeah.
Which is... Okay, it's a Falcon spot dodge. Actually, it's worse than Falcon spot dodge. He's only invincible for 12 frames of 32. So it's, like, beyond awful. I feel like the biggest thing here is we're just not not going for like the pretty standard openings. Like here at the beginning of this match, like there's something that really stands out to me about this situation that like where he full hop dares. What really what I notice about like how this plays out is that I don't think it like registers to you that like once he's gone through you, you don't have to like respect it this much. You can just like attack him. Like you can just grab his landing.
Yeah.
Like, we don't
like
go
looking at it now, I'm like, this is just an easy run-up dash grab.
Yeah. So, like,
yeah.
And we have our boost grab, remember? So, like, even if we're, like, slightly late and he dashes away from us, like, what do you think happens if we just boost grab at the end? Like, if we just boost grab. Like, let's say you dash this way, you realize what's going on, and then you, like, here, and then you just boost grab over here. What do you think happens?
Yeah, I'd probably just hit him even if he dashes away, I would think, because
Mm-hmm.
He's not like his dash isn't that crazy. I don't think.
Yeah, so like I think that we need to be like this needs to be something that we're more mindful of. Like this kind of distance between him and us has to be something that we're considering for like boost grab.
Mm-hmm.
Like because boost grab also is using our dash grab, so it's also going to hit low. So yeah, like we want to make sure that this is represented. This is very, very, very important. I think that a big thing that happens versus him is the worst thing you can do against him specifically is just over-respect his tools. Like, because at the end of the day, he has no shield, and he has no, like, dodge. He has no dodges. So the more threats that we can apply to him and force him to, like, respect, the more difficult his life becomes. Because, yeah, you can see, like, he has to, like, he can only really win through neutral very specific ways. Basically with his hitboxes or crouch cancel. Because everything else is kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Like, this is all just hitboxes. So this is what I mean. Like, so let's walk through this. When you come up with the roll here, as he's going through you, are you still intangible?
Yes.
So, like, what I'm saying here is, I would just ledge hop up air him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd go under him and then up. And kind of, like, follow him up while I'm intangible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we're not even letting him land. Because you're saying it's, like, weird when he's, like, able to land and stuff. And I'm saying, yeah, that is weird. Let's not let him do that. Like, just hit him with our invincible Sheik.
Yeah, I guess my intuition about doing, like, the ledge dash and then grabbing is that I can hit him off stage again if he's not at, like, kill percent.
Are you saying you can't get through him on this, like, if you wanted to nair him off stage here, are you saying you can't get through him on this up B?
Yeah, no, you definitely can.
Yeah. So, like, I would say that's remember, he doesn't, like, this is another spot where he's different than Marth. He doesn't curve his up B in the same way. Because that would be the issue with Marth, right? Like, Marth would be able to, like, vary how he does it, he'd be able to put subtle differences on, like, the curve of his up B, but Game & Watch can't really do that. He's got, like, one, maybe two, like, modes with it. I don't know if the reverse is different in terms of trajectory, but I think it's just the same stuff either way. So then because of that, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't think he can really, like, curl his up B, yeah.
Yeah. Now let's watch this interaction. So he comes down with his back air. Remember, his back air does not L cancel. If he's coming down with us if he's coming down on us with back air, what on earth, like, God, shield grab him. Just, yeah, easy. Make him die.
Yeah, I felt like the spacing wasn't right there. Or I think that's why I did wave dash shield and then try to grab.
I agree. What I'm saying is we want to, if he's got his back to us, I'm saying we want to space more aggressively.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like run in shield. Yeah.
Yeah, like the other thing here is why are we running away from this? Like our back air is also very good at like contesting this. This is a multi-hit weak move that's like got a bunch of stuff on it, but like it's hits mainly here, let's look at the hitbox. So based on this, like what do you think is gonna happen if we just like contest him at like the back air angle, at Sheik's back air angle, right? Because like he's leaving all of this body open.
Yeah.
And like with where your starting position was, like we can easily it's very easy for us to like imagine how like we could like play for that. Like, in fact, if you just jump up with back air here, like what on earth does he do to beat that?
Yeah, probably. I don't think he can.
Yeah, so what we're learning here is like we can I think a lot of the things that we're struggling with are just like not being sure when we can be the aggressor, because you have a lot of opportunities here that we're not taking. So like what are some things that we can like kind of like learn and internalize here about like how this character works? What are his like strong positions? Like where is he scary?
I think he's scary.
Like if he's in the air, where is it difficult to be or difficult to compete with him?
Like the space in front of him.
Yeah, so like here, right?
Yeah,
What about his nair? What's his nair like? Is his nair any good?
it's good. It's actually, yeah, it is good, but it's pretty slow, and you can't L cancel it. So
Okay, so like we'll put yellow
has
there.
some,
Because
yeah.
what about his back here? His back here is like L not can't be L canceled. It hits like it doesn't really cut. It does. It's not particularly strong. Is it something we need to worry about?
Probably not very much.
Yeah. So let's do that. What about his up air? Like the thing above him thing.
Yeah, I I feel like that move just isn't very good, honestly. But
I know that's good. This we're summarizing. So we've got things here. And what about his down air? His down air good, bad, good, solid,
um,
okay.
I feel like the hitbox is pretty good, but again, it's not good on shield.
None of his moves are
Um,
good on shield.
yeah, that's good. But yeah, I feel like his down air hitbox is actually pretty good,
Okay, cool. So
in my
like
experience.
yeah, so we've got his nair here. We've got this like so what does that mean about where we want to be relative to him?
I guess like behind and like under him,
Yeah.
or like yeah, like where I am right now.
Yeah. What if after he lands, where is it like what are some other ways that we can look at this? So like let's say he lands on the ground here. So we'll make some ground here. What does he do after like upon landing? Actually, we'll use a box. Boxes are more precise. But after landing, what are some things he can do?
um,
Like if this is the Earth, he has landed here. What would be one play that he could go for? Like what's a grounded follow up that he could do?
I mean, I guess one thing would just be spot dodging and trying to, if he thinks that you're not going to be able to get a true punish on his landing.
His spot dodge is terrible. I don't think he ever wants to do
Yeah,
that. So like, give me an attack because he's gonna do an attack.
like jab or down tilt.
There we go, down tilt there and jab. Yep, those are the good ones. So those hit here. What are we noticing about like how his zones work? Because like his it's hard for him to turn around and down tilt, right? Because it's not an easy input. What about his up tilt? Where does his up tilt hit?
Um, it's like the first hit is like above him and slightly to the right, and then the next hit is above him and slightly to the left, right?
Yeah, like here, and then like it kind
Yeah,
of spreads out like goes from here to here, but it's like slightly like that, right?
yeah.
Okay, so that would be here. So again, what we're learning about I think what we need to like start understanding about this character is that he works in a very specific zone. Like if this is his box, like if this is where he operates in the air and this is where he's operating from on the ground down here, he only has like a small subset of places that he actually wants to be, that he wants us relative to him. Everything else is really difficult for him to deal with. You can see that, right?
hmm yeah.
So if we're like, and on top of that, his main defense mechanisms on the ground are it's crouch, or
hmm
it's crouch and attacks.
Yeah.
So I feel like this guy is just like kind of begging for us to like offensively mix him up a lot. Because like what do you think happens if you land if you're just like if he misses this, goes for this, and we're just dancing around out here?
Um,
Like Sheik is like messing around. Sheik is dash dancing maybe in like this kind of zone
hmm
when he's coming down from fair. So like, what do you think? Like, let's say the fair misses. What do you think? What do you think what do you think he can do about our next play?
Um, well, I feel like in this position, so you're saying he goes for fair, it misses, and then we're dash dancing there.
Yeah, like we're dash dancing. We dash here. We're dashing back like to about say this point. Upon him missing this fair, so we're here, and he's over here. Um, my question is, his lines of play are basically to go for a down tilt or jab to protect the space in front of him, or to crouch, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if we just jump around him?
Yeah.
Right? Because like that's a way that we could. That's
That makes sense.
Yeah, and like even if we don't jump around him because we want to play for grab, like he has to make a guess between whether or not we're grabbing right away and like whether he has to like spot dodge or crouch or like dash away, or whether or not he needs to attack us, right? So like we're forcing him to take a lot of to play like a lot of high risk situations just naturally by like teasing his range, and that's assuming and this is in our bad position, by the way. Like this is when this is what we do when we're in the spot that doesn't like work. Because the other thing is like if we have needles, that also changes the dynamic of the situation. Because all of his best moves on landing are lows. It's like his down tilt. So what happens if we just short hop above him and then come down with needles?
Yeah, that seems pretty bad for him.
Yeah. So I guess so. I'm glad we actually started with this because I'm learning a lot about how you think and what you know. Like, what I get the impression of is that you like to compare things, like, you like to look at things in terms of, like, how other characters work, which is common for, like, figuring out how these guys work. And that's good, but I think that one of the things that we have to know, like, that is a good starting point for, like, building a strategy, but I'd say that with low tiers in general, you want to look at for the ways they're different, too.
Yeah. That makes sense. I don't think I think about that as much, like what the ways they're different and the ways they're a lot worse than the characters I'm comparing them to.
Well, yeah, but like it's not always that they're worse though. Like there's certain things about Game & Watch's up B that yes, from an onstage lag perspective, like from a recovery angle perspective, his is worse than Marth, but Marth also doesn't have like lagless conditions where he's recovering on stage laglessly.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what do you think we should do with this F tilt here? Like after we hit that, what should we do next?
We could up air, maybe, or we could. Yeah, I guess.
What percent was he at going into that F tilt?
I don't remember.
27? Okay, cool. I have an idea, but like I think up air works. I think up air is a very good answer. I have like a very crazy solution that I want to suggest to you, but I want and like hear me out. What if we full hop dared?
Yeah, I think I see it. Yeah.
So talk to me. What do you see?
Like you mean after the F tilt?
Yeah.
Or yeah. I feel like he doesn't have because it wouldn't like true combo, but I feel like it would still. I don't think he has a good way to like directly contest it.
Yeah, like what is what's
his
catch
it? His up air. Sorry, yeah.
No, go. So like, what is his fastest move in the air that he might do to like escape this?
I feel like his fastest move is back air, but that wouldn't work. I'm not even sure if that's true. I don't know how fast his up air is.
Up air is 7.
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like that would have to be the answer, right?
Yeah.
Up airing, and I feel like it's very low chance that he would do that here, especially like the first time seeing it. I don't know. Yeah, and then if he tries to like jump, I feel like you could also catch his double jump easily.
Yeah, because you're above him. He's jumping into it.
And then he might just die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From looking at INE data, I think that the percent is actually like slightly low for this up air, but I think you can see like why I'm suggesting it. Like, sorry for this down air, but I think you've picked up on why I'm suggesting it. It's something to consider when you're like his only good get off B move in the air is really his up B. everything else is trash. Because everything else hits 7 above him, 10 if it's to his side, or like 20 if it's anything else. So this is not good for getting out of things. So because of that, this is again what I mean by he is very reliant on things like his double jump in order for him to get out. Like double jump, his up B, in order for him to get out. Punish that. Call him out for it. Or like do things that if he hits you with this up B, like, yeah, the up B will counter that every time, but like you also get up B near the bottom of the screen at like as Sheik at 26. And then he's in Mr. Game & Watch floating down against Sheik. Like, surely we can figure out how to win. Surely we can finagle a couple of back airs here. Like, like, that seems like a thing we could do. Let's talk, like, I think that the big thing here is, like, you're just backing off when he's stuck in these positions where he's open. Like, we're then forced to play these scraps on his terms at his, like, against his powerful disjoints. We're then fighting into his crouch in those scraps because of how he's set up the fight. And we're just not really hitting his edge guard in general, like his recovery in general. Then on top of that, we're not like using needles like on our way down when we're at the 45-degree angle, even though we kind of like have picked up that he has a weakness like near his head where he doesn't really have any hitboxes there. So it's just there's a lot of opportunity here. I think this guy's totally beatable. Might not get it on your first try, but like I think you got like there's a lot to work with here.
Yeah.
And then we jumped into a bunch of fairs.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Like, and this is just like we're not gonna hit this edge guard, but like you can see, we could have just like it's not always edge guard because his recovery has low on stage lag. We're not always trying to edge guard him with the idea that we're gonna go lethal. Oh, wrong one. What was your counter pick? Was it Yoshi's?
Yeah, I don't think this is a good counter pick. But at the time, I was like, oh.
I want to point something out.
It's hard to...
Look at what happens.
Yeah.
I think Yoshi's is a great counter pick. I think Yoshi's is a fine counter pick. I think you could do better. Like, I would say that, like, in terms of Sheik's counter picks on Game & Watch... I don't know. I don't really like FD against him because I feel like he just gets us an advantage state a lot. But it does. You do get easy kills. I'd honestly be tempted to go Dreamland.
Yeah, that's where I went for the game after this. I don't know. People, I've like talked to people who've like said I should go FD, and I kind of just don't like it that much on paper. But I don't know.
I don't like it. I don't like it against him either. Why don't you like it though?
It's mostly like a vibes thing, but like I feel like it's just harder to avoid the stuff he is looking for there, like grab. I don't know, and like. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess the main vibe thing is like, oh, FD, and I don't want to get grabbed, and FD seems bad if I don't want to get grabbed.
So why is it difficult to avoid getting grabbed by him on FD? I agree that it is difficult to avoid getting grabbed by him there relative to other levels, but why is it harder?
Well, because you have to always play on the ground against him. You don't have platforms to run to. Or hang out on. Yeah, I guess.
And
is the thing.
And like, but that only matters if like their moves. That only matters if they have a way to like make that difficult, right? Like if we were fighting, say, I don't know, who's a character who doesn't have good ground game.
Oh, okay.
If we were fighting like, if we were fighting
Zelda?
if we were fighting Mewtwo, like we wouldn't care. Because we would just short off Ferrum anyway. Like, what is he gonna do? Like, his best move is a low. Like, he's just gonna come in with a sweep or a grab. Like, who cares? We're just gonna hit him. But what's the problem with Mr. Game & Watch? Why isn't he like that?
Well, you can't just short hop fair him because he has his own short hop fair, I guess.
Yeah, he's competitive with us on hitboxes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, like, because of that, he has a lot of leverage there. But our tools are more efficient. The platforms work for us because we have a huge shield. We have amazingly fast aerials that are competitive, like that are comparably big to his, out and quicker out of our shield on those in that position.
Hmm.
They provide us a recovery location that's like kind of like better for us than it is for him. There's a lot of reasons we like platforms. FD takes all those away and then also sticks us into a fight pattern where we have to like compete with his hitboxes more directly a lot. That's terrible. Absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
On this note, on like, not that this was atrocious, but like, I just want to point out, we need to time our needles better. See what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'm just kind of bad at it in general, I think.
Okay, so let's
This type of thing happens to me like all the time.
So let's not just concede to being bad at it. Like, so like, where do you think you need to shoot them to hit him?
Um, Probably like
Like, here, we'll make a line.
maybe
So
like the height of like the side platform or lower, or a little lower maybe.
so where would you put the where if we had to put a line on this line for where we start the throwing them? Where is it?
Down, 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 down. I think more.
Like here?
Yeah. You talk about like if he's coming in, right? Or you talk about where he is right now?
Both.
Okay.
You have a full stack of needles. You think you can't hit both?
Yeah. So maybe a little higher.
So where would you say? Like on like here?
Um. Yeah. Maybe like there.
This isn't
I'm
bad.
not sure.
I think you can be a little higher. I would say around here.
Okay.
Because the thing is like when you shoot the needles out, they're gonna come out at about a 45-degree angle. Honestly, I think you can. I think you can even might be able to get away with it like when you're about here,
Mm.
like around this kind of zone. But like we'll see. The thing is, the needles like come back. The thing is, you have to be falling though. Like the trick here, like the key here is you just need to be falling down absolutely, because
Mm.
what you'll see happens, and maybe you do throw there, but I think you throw at the peak. Yeah, so you're up here. Where did I say? So yeah, probably around here, probably around like this area. At this point, when you reach about here, because like what happened, what you're doing is you're like boxing him out of this zone. So like let's look at where your needles are going. So they're kind of like working. They're kind of like covering it, but they're just a little too high. We need the needle
Yeah.
spray to be like slightly lower. So let's actually get a comparison point here. So what is your zone cover? I know we're at our last 2 minutes, like in our last 2 minutes, but so I'm gonna have some questions for you about like how this went. But yeah. So let's see here. Okay, so one here, so this. So they shoot here to here. Cool. So let's grab a comparison point here, because I'm curious as to like where we wanted to put them. So where do you think they have to fight? Like knowing that now that we know that they're shooting from like here, because we have that needle that we have to work with as a reference point. So we have this one here, and then the last needle is firing about here, I think. Or no, it's slightly low. Yeah, about there. So knowing this, where do we have to move the needle spray? Because we shot from about here.
Mm-hmm.
So how much farther down do we have to go? Because it's about this amount of space we're covering.
Yeah. Probably not that much further down, but like a decent amount. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, like talk to me. Like what are you thinking?
Um,
Like here.
I think like there, I guess.
Yeah, this makes sense. Because, like, this will hit him. And then, like, so we would do it about here. So if we want to hit this spot, we need to do them around here.
Hmm.
Instead, this is too high. This is too high. Yeah. So does this make a little bit more sense in terms of, like, how needles work?
Yeah, I think this is like a problem I have had, and I just like have never thought about it. And like, wow, this is I just need to throw them lower. This is so obvious, but I swear this happens to me all the time.
And
And I'm like, oh,
and you can see how much of a difference this would make here. This is a free grab if we do it right.
yeah,
So we have reached, I believe, our last, like, I think we've reached the end of our time. But let's like quickly or rather we have like a minute left. Let's recap then. Talk to me about what are some things that you learned? Like, how do you feel this went? Did this kind of style work for you? Was this a good speed? Just any kind of feedback like that. Yeah, because I'd love to hear what your thoughts are and how you felt. Anything you learned that was interesting.
yeah, I thought it went well. I really like the style, like the way you like draw everything out and like highlight specific like ranges and zones. I think is really helpful because I feel like I have understanding that stuff generally, and when you like break it down and draw it out, it makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more like digestible, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I think I learned a lot about Game and Watch in Melee, but just like the things you were saying about again like drawing out the zones in which he's most threatening, and then the spots where he's not as threatening made a lot of sense, and like where to attack him from. And also like knowing where to shield, and like you don't really have to be afraid of grab unless he's pretty close to you. Yeah, and then the edge guard stuff was also good because I felt like I did not edge guard very well at all in that set, and I think I have something to try now that's more concrete instead of just hoping I hit him somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's. Did you have what other questions did you have?
No, that was it. Like,
Okay.
So I have a few things. Grab for landings. So here's what I've kind of like picked out for key takeaways. So I think that like paying attention to the key zone so we know where we can operate more aggressively, like that back, like you saw had the value of that in that back air, right?
Yeah.
You just like cleaved through his, yeah, cool. So then knowing the weaknesses, then as an add-on to that, like as a separate thing, knowing the weaknesses of his strong tools so we can play the mix-ups in his strong positions well as well. Because a lot of his tools are very powerful, but like he's a very like high risk, high reward kind of character. Like he's got big strengths but big weaknesses. And we can't stop good players, like strong players, from getting their good positions all the time. Like Melee's too deep of a game, and for us to be able to stop them like 100% of the time. So we just have to like play we have to play against his down tilt and down air sometimes.
Yeah.
Knowing that though, like we know that two of them are absurdly bad on shield, or like not absurdly bad but quite bad on shield, and one of them is like very good, like just very safe in general, but also doesn't really like it kind of pigeonholes him into like fighting for that spot because it only controls the area directly in front of him. Like it's susceptible to us to going around him. There's lots of ways, like it's dash dance grabbable, so susceptible to whiff punish, susceptible to being out positioned. Just kind of scary if we try to interact with it directly. Yeah, like aside from that is edge guarding, knowing the utility of needles and like how we have to throw them, And we also confirmed that dash grab is like probably what we want to be, where we want to be for landings.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I'm going to cut the recording here.